Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. It's Ijoma here, and in today's video we are going to learn how to make this top and this skirt. It is a two-piece, and this fabric that I used here is called accordion. It is stretchy and the skirt has an elastic at the waistline. Then for the top, I do not use any bias or anything because of the type of fabric that I used. This fabric is called an accordion, and I used just 2 yards of fabric. Now the first thing that we are going to do is that we are going to cut this on paper. It is not like pattern drafting, but we are going to cut it on paper before transferring it to the main fabric. The reason why we are cutting on paper is because of the type of fabric that we are working with. Marking chalk on it can be hard, like it is hard sometimes, and you may not really get the measurements you want. So we are going to do our cutting on our paper first of all, then we are going to transfer it to the fabric. If you are a plus size, you should buy at least 2.5 for this. 2.5 or 3 yards should be okay. Now this is the fabric. You can see the lines on it, and you can see that it is stretchy. It is called an accordion fabric. So it is up to you. If you go to the market, they have the one that feels like crepe and they have the one that feels like polo material. It is up to you to select the one you want. Now when we start with the top, the paper that I use for the front is what I'm going to use for the back. First of all, I marked my chest line 8, my bust point 10, my half length is 17, and the full length of this top is at that half length, that is 17. Then you add like extra 5 inches for your basque waistline. You know, it has a triangular waistline. You go ahead and add that 5 inches or 6 inches for your triangular, but for your basque waistline, but the major length of that top stopped at the half length. Now after connecting my lines, I'll go ahead and label my lines. This is chest line, this is bust point, this one is bust point, this one is the half length, and the other one is the basque, that is that triangular place. Now we are going to mark our shoulder. Our shoulder is 8 inches, right? Like our shoulder is 16 divided by 2, that is 8. So I marked 8 and I went ahead to curve my armhole. After doing that, I will get my neckline. My neckline is 4.5, that is 9 inches. On fold it is 4.5, but if you open it, it will be 9 inches. So the neck there to stop at 17. First of all, I'll go ahead and mark a square neckline or a 4-corner neckline. Then after marking that, I'll go ahead and curve it a little. The round neck is not really round like that. So first of all, mark this rectangular line, then you will curve. Then I will reduce my shoulder by half an inch so that the neckline will not be falling off on my neck. Then take your bust divided by 4, waist divided by 4. You are not adding any darts, you are not adding any allowance because of the type of fabric that you are using. You are not adding any darts or any allowance. Then from the half length, you are going to mark your basque. So I want to draft my basque freehand. I want to see what it looks like. And if you want to mark any type of basque you want, let's say you want it to have a curvy basque, you can go ahead and mark your curvy basque. But this is the type of basque that I want. Then I'll go ahead and cut out. After cutting this out, I will use it to cut out my front and my back. I don't have to draft another one for the back, and I want my neckline to be the same thing, both front and back. Now after doing that, we'll move over to the skirt. I want to use this pattern for my skirt also. Now for my skirt, it is nothing much. Our skirt is not going to have a band. Like you noticed at the beginning of this video, that skirt has an elastic. So an elastic is what I'm going to add. So I'm not subtracting any inches for my band. You can see where I placed my tape. I'll start from the top of my skirt. I'm not subtracting any inches for the band. Start from the top of your skirt. Then you are going to mark your waist to hip, your waist to knee, and your full length, like the full length of the skirt that you want to make. Now after marking those things, you are going to rule your line. So the skirt, it depends on the length you want your skirt to be. If you want it to be a short skirt, it's fine. If you want it to be a long skirt, it is fine as well. Now after marking these lines, I'll divide my hip by 4 and I'll mark. I'll divide my waist by 4 and I'll mark. I am not adding any allowance. And the reason why I am dividing my waist by 4 without adding any allowance is because of the type of fabric I have. You know, had it been it is not a stretchy fabric, if you divide your waist by 4 and cut, it will not pass your hip. but because this fabric is stretchy, it will pass my hip. So that's why I'll divide my waist by 4, and then I'll mark. And my knee line, I'll take away 2 inches from what I marked on my hip line. I marked 10.5 on my hip line, so on my knee line I'm marking 8.5, and then I will connect my hip to my knee. Then my waist divided by 4, that is 7. 28 divided by 4 is 7. I marked 7, and I'll connect from my waist to my hip, from my hip to my knee, then from my knee line to the full length. Now after doing this, I'll go ahead and cut it on my fabric. I'll cut the front on my fabric, and I'll also cut the back on my fabric. Now when cutting this on your fabric, we said that our front and our back are the same. There is no zip allowance. The top, the front and the back of the top is the same. There is no zip allowance. So what I'm going to do is that I will be folding my fabric twice. So I've made my first fold, right? This is my first fold. I'll go ahead and fold again. Then I'll place my paper on it and cut. So whatever I have on the front is what I will have at the back also. There is no difference. Now after cutting, you can see that I have the same thing on my front and on my back. This skirt is 2 pieces, and you can see everything is stretchy, so there is no point. I'll go ahead and shape the side, but for now I'll shape one side. After shaping one side, I can now add my elastic at the waist before shaping the other side. Now this one is for the top. I'll fold first. This is my first fold. I'll also do my second fold. This is my second fold. Then I'll place my paper on it, and then I'll cut. I am done cutting my skirt. I have my front and my back here, so I want to give the neckline a little round shape. Now after doing this, the next thing that I'm going to do is that I will shape the shoulder and the side. I don't want to use any bias on it because of the type of fabric that I am working with. But if at all you fold the neckline, you should use your fabric, like you should use your fabric to fold. So shape your shoulder and the side of this top, and that is all. Then for the skirt, you can see white paper there. I used paper to join this because my fabric wasn't cooperating. So now I had to cut out my elastic, and this elastic I have here is my waist measurement, my exact waist measurement. So I want it to hold me. Now I have run my elastic this way from the right side. Then I'll go ahead and fold it in, and as you are sewing, you'll be dragging it. Like as you are sewing, you'll be dragging your elastic. Now after fixing your elastic, you go ahead and shape from the side. So at the end of the day, this is my skirt, and you can see I have turned it with my elastic. So if I wear this on my body, the waist of this skirt will hold me very well. So guys, we have come to the end of this class. Our registration for our online classes is ongoing. We have lots of classes. We have beginner classes, we have intermediate, advanced, like we have so many classes online. So if you want to join, you can drop a comment in the comment section and I will direct you on how to register. Thank you all for watching, and please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe and click on notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video you will be notified. Thank you for watching, and see you all in my next video. Bye.